All right, welcome back. We're now going to go ahead and do another squared around offset. It's going to look like this. So we're going to do a 7-inch diameter circle with a 4-inch by 4-inch square. And we're going to be offsetted from center to center square to center circle 6 inches and have a height of 4 inches. Like this. So that's basically how it's going to look like, more or less. Okay, so here's our 4x4 and 7-inch diameter circle. And we're going to be making two layouts. This is going to look like this, and the other one's going to look like that. So this basically goes on this end like so, and this other end, this other offset piece goes on top like this. Alright, let's begin. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a line here straight down so I can kind of center everything out, because we're going to go ahead and put a circle there and then a square somewhere around here. So let me see. One, two, three, 4, 5.5. That's kind of more or less where I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. Just a random line. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make our circle. 2, 3, 4.5. Like right around here. Okay, so we're gonna make a 7-inch diameter circle. So 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So you're gonna open up your compass to 3.5 inches. 1, 2, 3.5. Right there. It's pretty close. Okay. Put our sharp point on the center and go ahead and make a circle. Cool. So now that is 7-inch. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make our 4x4 square. But we're going to go and be offsetted by 6 inches, center to center square. So here's the center of the circle. We're going to go here, 6 inches. And that's going to be the center of the square. So that'll be the offset of 6 inches. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there, and our square is 4x4, so we'll just go ahead that's 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So there's the 2, that makes 4. So that's more or less how it's going to look like. Okay, let's go ahead and center this down. Okay, we're going to go 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, I mean, sorry. 2. Yes, I know there is another way of doing this, but I'm not all there yet. Okay. There's that. Let's go ahead and measure this just to be sure that it is 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be there, more or less. Okay, we're going to go across 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And go ahead and finish it off by finding the 4-inch side. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. I know it's weird using a cut-off piece of measuring tape as a ruler, but it actually works. Okay. Let's go ahead and divide. Square. That's it. It's pretty close. Okay, so there it is. Center of the circle, center of the square, 6-inch offset. There it is. Okay, 4-inch by 4-inch. Okay. Now let's go ahead and divide, just like what we did here. We're going to go ahead and divide half of that circle. So you can do that by striking arcs on opposite ends of each side of the circle. Like so. Sharp point there. Strike another arc there. Strike another arc like so. Now there it is. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. Let's go clean this up. Okay, next thing. We're going to go ahead and divide this pie and this pie. 1 through 5. So let me go ahead and use the smaller compass instead. Yep, I didn't reach. Okay, we're gonna have to do this again. And let's just go ahead and use this one. It's already here. Okay, so we're gonna strike an arc like so. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Now divide these two, and these two, and these two. So here, 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 and there. So do the same thing. Just going to open up your compass and strike an arc in between these two spots, more or less where you think they'll meet when you intersect them. Like that. Okay, so that's good. Strike an arc there. Strike an arc here. Swing it over. Might as well swing an arc there as well. Put your sharp point on that point and strike an arc like so. Swing it over, strike an arc, put your sharp point on the top. There it is. Okay, put your pencil where the two arcs meet. Center your ruler to the center of the square, and that'll be your mark right there. Same thing on this side, like so. Pencil, position it to the center of the circle, mark it. Same thing on this side, and mark it. Okay, now let's go ahead and erase this, clean this up. Alrighty, let's clean this up too. It's kind of distracting. It's not really a square. Alright, so since everything's even, we only just need to make one side. So meaning, since there's no offset, meaning to a slanted side, everything's pretty much even. So we're only just going to be concentrated on this portion here, not this half. It's basically the same thing, but you can do it either way. Okay, so now we're going to go and number these. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the same thing on that side. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now, this will be side A, as well as this, side A, and we'll label this as side B, or portion B, however you want to label it. So now what we're going to do is make our true length triangle. As you guys know, that consists of a 90-degree angle, like what you see here. And we're going to go ahead, make a 90-degree line like so, and a vertical like that. Okay. Now remember, we're going to go ahead and go 4 inches height. So we're going to go ahead and go from here to here, 4 inches. So you're going to take your ruler and measure vertically 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your 4-inch height mark right here. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and transfer this information onto here so that we're able to start doing the layout on this side. Okay, so take your compass. This will be A, and this will be B. So you want to go ahead and transfer all this information from here to here. So you start by putting your sharp point on A, and your pencil point on 1. Lock it in place. Take a sharp point and put it where both the vertical and horizontal lines meet on the true length triangle. Strike an arc, and this will be 1. Same thing on 2. Put your sharp point on A. Put your pencil point on 2. Lock it in place like so. Put your sharp point back on the both vertical and horizontal lines meet. Strike an arc like so, and that is 2. Same thing, 3. Lock it in place. Sharp point here. Strike an arc, and that is now going to be 3. A, 4. Open it up to the 4 lock it in place. True-length triangle, transfer it over. Scribe your mark, and that is 4. And last one, almost on A, go to 5. Lock it in place, like so. Sharp point on your true-length triangle. Strike an arc, and that is now 5. So you can see I should have gone a little further out. Sometimes you won't know that, but it's not a problem. You can fix that by doing this. Okay, now the other one that we're going to need is the center points from the square to the circle. So that'll be here, X and X. Guess we can put it here. So do the same thing. Put your sharp point now on the center of the square on the side, like so. Put your sharp point, the other end of the point, on X or B or on 5, I guess, which is the center. And now you're going to transfer that over to this side, and that is now X. All right. So now that we got this side, which would be section A, labeled it like that. Hopefully you guys can see that. Now we need another true length triangle for this side. So just what we did here, transferring this information from here to here. Now we're going to do the same thing from here on all this. So normally you can just label these as, like, say 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. But because we don't have that much space, I'm just going to go ahead and make another true length triangle. So it'll be easier. Once you guys start doing this again, you guys can use one true length triangle for all. If you feel like you can, if you have the space. So we'll just go ahead and do the same thing. Another 90-degree true length triangle, and we know our 4-inch height mark is right here. So we're going to label this as true length triangle B, which is this side, this and this. Okay, again we're going to go 4-inch height. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that right here is your 4-inch height mark. All right, same thing. So we're going to go ahead and transfer all this information, starting with B1, B2, B3, B4, and B5. Okay, so B1, so sharp point on B, pencil point on 1, like so. Sharp point now on true length triangle B, and strike an arc, and now that is 1. Okay, do the same thing on 2. Sharp point on B, pencil point end on 2, lock it in place like so. Sharp point on true length triangle, swing it over, and now that is 2. A3, sharp point on B, true length triangle, strike an arc, that is 3, 4, B, 4, lock it in place like so. Sharp point on true length triangle B, swing it over, strike an arc, and that is 4, and then 5, B5, lock it in place like so. Go back to your true length triangle, strike an arc, transfer the information, and that is 5. And the same thing, we're going to need X. So center of the square to center of the circle is X. So again, go here, center of the square, to center the circle. I guess I should say center on the side of both the square and the circle, not center. Anyways, go back to your two-lane triangle B, swing it over, and now that is going to be X. And there it is. So that, now we're ready to go ahead and start. Based on all this information that we have here, we're ready to make this layout and this layout. All right, let's go ahead and start. So we're gonna go ahead and make a random horizontal line. Say no more or less where I'm gonna start the layout. Okay. Let's see here. I think we'll start it there. So it's going to be 4 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I think that'll be good. I'm gonna make this a little darker so you guys can see this. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and start with A. Okay. So this is A. Okay. All right. So this is the fun part. This is all easy from here on out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with two-lane triangle A. So put your sharp point on 1, like so. Here's 1A. Put your pencil point on the 4-inch height mark, which is here. Lock it in place, like so. Sharp point on both sides of this 4-inch line. Strike an arc somewhere in the center right here. Put your sharp point on this other end. Crisscross that previous arc. And now you found 1, which is right there. That's 1. Okay. So now what we're going to do is take the distance from 1 to 2. And we're going to go ahead and use our small compass here. And we know that that is the distance from here to here. If everything was done right, it should be kind of centered more or less, or basically kind of evened out. Which they're kind of a little off. Let me see what we can do. We can adjust it a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of centered. It's pretty close. Okay. So now you're going to take the distance from 1 to 2. So you know that 1's here, 2 is here, and here. So put your sharp point on your compass on 1. Strike half moon arcs on both sides of 1. Like so. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and finish off by crisscrossing 2. Go back to your two-lane triangle A, go to 2, put your sharp point on 2. Open your compass to the 4-inch height mark, lock it in place, like so. Put your sharp point on A, crisscross these arcs. Same thing on this side. Boom, there you go. And that is 2. Okay, so I'm going to do a little circle there. So you guys can see. So that is 2. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and look for 3. This is so exaggerated. This pencil on the small compass is broken, so I'm using a big pencil, which is kind of weird. Usually I use this to put here, but whatever, we'll fix that later. Okay, so same thing. So now we're gonna look for 3. So take your compass, sharp point on 2, open it up to the 3, to number 3. Now take your compass, put it on 2, strike an arc on both sides of 2, going outwards, left and right. So there's your random arc. So that's where 3 is going to be. Now we're going to go ahead and finish off 3 by going back to your 2-lane triangle. Put your compass on 3, open it up to the 4-inch height mark, lock your compass in place, put your sharp point on A, strike an arc there, this side of A, strike an arc here, and that is now 3. Circle, circle. And that's it. Do the same thing. 4. So the distance from 3 to 4. Looks good. So you can kind of see how it's kind of arcing. So you can kind of know more or less where to throw the arc based on how this curve is going. Okay, now we're going to look for 4, which is here. So here's 4. Put your compass on 4. Open it up to the 4-inch height mark. Lock it in place. Compass on A. Strike an arc here. Strike an arc there. And now you found 4. Circle, circle. Okay, and then we're almost done. Now we want to look for 5. So the distance from 4 to 5 looks like this. Pretty close. So put your compass on 4. Strike an arc like that, right around there. Strike another arc. Now we're going to go and finish off 5. So here's 5. Put your compass on 5. Open it up to the 4-inch height mark. Lock it in place. Strike an arc there. Put on in this side of the A, strike an arc here. And now you found 5. 5. 5. All right, now the last thing is we're going to look for X. So let me just kind of go over this really quick. If you guys can see, we're doing this here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you found this A and A, which is here. So now what you want to do is complete this portion here, which is half of the 4-inch square. So this will be 2 inches here. So you need to find this to connect with that, and that'll finish off the layout to do this. So the way you do that is we know that we're doing half and half of this square. So from here to here is 2 inches. As you can see, 2 inches. So what you do is take your compass and open it up to 2 inches. We know that's 2 inches. Put your sharp point on A, and you're going to throw a random arc like so on both sides of A. Okay, now you're going to take X. So put your sharp point on X on your 2-lane triangle. Open it up to the 4-inch height mark like so. Unlock it in place so you guys can see. Now take the sharp point, put it on 5. And now crisscross the arcs that are going like so. So do the same thing on this. Sharp point on 5. Pencil point on the arcs. Crisscross the arcs. And now you found X, which is right here. So that's X. So now what you do, well, let's clean this up. Okay, now what we're gonna do is connect the dots. Okay, looks good. So far so good. So now you're gonna go ahead and connect these lines, or rather the numbers. Whoops. 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1. All right. And now, that looks ugly. Okay. So, that is this. Should be kind of close. Pretty close. All right, cool. So as you can see, these are your bend marks. So you'll always want to start from the center, from A, and then 1, where they meet. So you start, drawing the lines 1 through A, 2 to, or A to 2, A to 3, A to 4, and A to 5. But right now, since we're going to go ahead and do the other layout, and there's not much space here, I'm basically just going to overlap over this layout that we did here for this to now make this. So again, that's why I'm not going to go ahead and draw the lines here, but I'm sure you guys understand now. Well, that's where we're going to skip and begin the next or the final layout. All right, this is going to be a 2-part, just because this video will become kind of boring if I keep going. So I'd figure I'm going to make it a 2-part for layouts that have some crazy offsets like this one. So anyways, that's it.